Okay, guys, so I got the Glowforge about a year ago, and we did, since from then till now, we've done a handful of videos like how it's working out, what I thought of it, and stuff like that. And it has been awesome. I love the machine. I got a little bit of everything going on here, but the laser has been awesome. So initially, when I posted some of the stuff, I said we do like a 1 year follow up, how it's working out, if I recommend it, if I not recommend it, if there's other directions I go. I looked into a few other kinds that are a little bit more expensive, but so. Well, I'll answer that down the road, but the quick answer is absolutely. I love the Glowforge. I can't say nothing bad about it. I would buy it. It's probably one of the best investments I've ever made. But so what had happened, and the reason we're here today is just an announcement we're going to have, but the Glowforge has exploded in popularity, specifically the last few months. It's completely taken off, and there's tons and tons of new machines out on the market. So what has happened with that is Glowforge doesn't do any type of training, any type of like true like tech support or anything like that. If you have an issue, they'll troubleshoot it, replace or repair or do whatever. But in terms of like everyday usage, Glowforge has nothing to do with you after they sell you the laser. So you're basically relying on your own intelligence, your own creativity, and like an online resource, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube channels and stuff like that, from other users to teach you. So for basically, when I first got the Glowforge, I did tons of stuff, like most people do. Like you just want to go out and make everything, make it, see what the capabilities are of it and everything. So in time, what happened was I found myself more and more and more people would have questions like, how does this work? Or help me with these settings, or can I do this? Can I do? So I was doing more training of new users than I was actually building stuff. So it got to a point where I couldn't keep up with it anymore. I either have to stick with just the training or I have to make stuff, and I bought the machine to make stuff, quite honestly. So that's what I want to be doing. But what's happening in the last few months from doing all this online training, it's basically the same stuff over and over. A new user gets it, it's how do I maintain the machine? How do I get started? How do I do this? So I'm answering the same questions over and over and over. So the announcement we have is for those who subscribe or those who are interested in subscribing, we're going to do like a YouTube channel where the questions I'm answering on a daily basis, I'm just going to make videos and put videos. So at any time, you guys can just pop on and take a look at the video and probably get the answer you're looking for. So like the big common ones I get all the time is like setting up, new user gets it and they're completely overwhelmed and they don't even know where to start. So we can make a video on how to set up and stuff like that. Capabilities, that's a big question before people buy it. What can it cut? What can it cut? What can it engrave? What can it engrave? Like electrical requirements, exhaust system requirements, stuff like that. So it's common questions, good questions. So we'll make videos and you guys could go on and see whatever. Settings, that's a big thing, stuff like that. So rather than just keep answering them on an individual basis every day, we're going to make this YouTube channel and we're going to put all that information out there. Another thing is, what happened with me was I'm a woodworker, so I make a lot of these projects, and then you put them on social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and what happens is you get tons of people messaging, oh, that's awesome, how can I make that, or how'd you do this part of that, or am I able to do this? So I'm also going to have a channel, same channel, but I'm going to have a section devoted to projects. So if you guys are interested in like whatever, if I'm making a serving tray, a cutting board, a lazy Susan, whatever it happens to be, I'll make how-to videos and follow along from step one to completion. So you guys, if you're interested in doing that. And then to add to that, I get a lot of times, I'll get an email or a private message saying, hey, I want to make whatever, a guitar. Like, is that possible? And I probably have never done it, but I'm like, well, it's a pretty cool idea. Let's try that. So maybe we'll do something like once a month where you guys could just message ideas or put them in the comment section of what you'd like to make. And I can make it and do a video, so maybe like once a month we'll devote to making a specific project that interests you guys. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then the other thing is I always had the embroidery machine, which you see in the background. I added sublimation. I always had, like everybody else, have a vinyl cutter and Cricut and stuff. I added the sublimation, which is awesome too. And then that's the laser. Of course, which reminds me, seeing the inline fan there, that's another super common question is, like what do I need to get rolling? Like, what are the requirements? Do I need like a huge area set it up? Do I need like a special exhaust system? Am I able to do it at my house? Like, what's the temperatures have to be? Do I need any dedicated electrical lines? Like, all good questions that, you know, we could put in a section here and answer, so you guys could come to one spot and get all your answers. And then another thing is like getting back to like the specific projects. As I'll make a project and post it, and people are like, "Well, how'd you do that? Or how'd you do this part of that? Or how'd you?" So there's a ton of questions related to using the machines in combination with each other. Whether it's a Cricut machine, whether it's a vinyl cutter, whether it's sublimation. Uh, Occasionally embroidery comes into play, but more so the sublimation. So I have a handful of projects. I even have some that I'm working on now where you can see them used in conjunction with each other. So that's also something that people ask all the time, is how to combine the two things. So I'll do a section on that too. I think you could devote an entire YouTube channel to combining everything, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it all the same to get started here. But so if you guys are interested in following along, it's going to make my life easier. I won't have to keep answering stuff on an individual basis, and all the stuff that I stumbled along learning and people I've helped have stumbled along learning. Maybe you guys won't have those hurdles if you get to see the video, you get the information up front. But if you're on the fence about the Glowforge, like sublimation is some people argue it's a little bit saturated at this point. I don't know if that's the case. There's always a niche if you have some type of, some degree of creativity. But lots of lasers on the market, but there's just so much you could do with them that there's so many like corners for individuals to market themselves. So I think the market for the laser hasn't even been touched yet. So I would definitely, embroidery machine is what it is, but Cricut is completely done and oversaturated in my opinion, but there is still money to be made with the laser. So people ask, that's another question I get all the time, like what machine would you buy? What machine? Probably the centerpiece of everything I do is the Glowforge, and then everything else just kind of like ties in and and helps out or whatever. But definitely the Glowforge. And definitely, I run into so many people who say, "Why we didn't know about the discount? We didn't know about the referral program." Or sometimes you see $500 off, and you're like, "Oh, that's got to be a scam," or "What's attached to it," or whatever. But it's not. It's the program that Glowforge has had. It's it's current. It's the one they're using. Honestly, I don't agree with it. I'd just rather see them sell the machines cheaper. But it is what it is. So make sure you order through somebody's referral code. I'm gonna put my code at the end of the video. I'll put it in the comments. So if you guys are looking to get your own machine, feel free to use my code there, and I can help you out with whatever you need. But definitely make sure you use the code, because it's gonna save you $500 on the Pro. It's gonna get you free shipping on the Pro and the Press. The Plus I think is $250, and the Basic is $100. The discount. So depending upon which model you get, it's a different degree of discount. But definitely take advantage of that. It's legit. It's not any type of racket. So the other thing is, I was talking about the projects. I have a few things I worked on here. You guys can just see how they are in combination with each other. But if you guys are interested, like and subscribe. And if you have a project, it'll probably be a month or so before we get started on that project, like a month deal, because I'm clearing out some stuff still. But if you guys have an idea for a project that you want to see done and it's a doable project, just throw it in the comments, or maybe that'll be like one of the projects of a month. And then real quick, for those of you who don't know too much about the laser or sublimation machine or embroidery machine or whatever, I have like today's open projects. I'll show you just so you can have an idea of like what the capabilities are with each machine. So I'm going to spin the camera around here. Hopefully it doesn't get too clogged up here, but just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, so we have, like I said, I'm a woodworker, so a lot of my projects are tied into wood. So this right here has probably been my most popular job. It's a serving tray with an inlay of Long Island where we live. It's some epoxy work, simulating an ocean. It's maple and poplar wood. And then it's a serving tray on this side. Then if you flip it over, I apologize for the camera work, it's actually finished on the bottom as a cutting board. So you get to use it as a cutting board and a serving tray. And then we do a lot of work for these are strictly cutting boards. That's for one of our Marine friends. And we have a Blue Lives Matter flag. And we have just some basic embroidery, a logo, some names. It's just an epoxy serving tray somebody uses for their boat down at the dock. It's Red Lives Matter, obviously, fire. It's similar to the. It's actually sold as a cutting board / serving tray. Then we have just a lazy Susan with a polyurethane finish with your favorite sports team. And this one here combines. There's some engraving on here, and there's also some sublimation work too. So, and this is just a basic cutout for somebody for Valentine's Day coming up. Here's just some standoff work, couple like a 3D plaque, and then here's sublimation. That's actually mine. That's my dog, and it comes out awesome. That's on a piece of slate, and it's just a water bottle you could also sublimate on. And then do have other projects from here. Just some wall plaques with the engraving. And then actually, I think even people ask about glass all the time. It might be hard to see on here, but that light that comes on and off in the background, that's actually a company logo, our logo designed in the back of a fish tank glass. So it's pretty cool. You got some good capabilities of stuff you could do. Another plaque. A lot of people like doing favorite movie quotes and stuff like that on a plaque. But another big thing I will say that everyone should learn. You can make, from a seller's point of view, you can make the absolute most best projects, but if you cannot get a good picture of them, they are not going to sell. So take the time to learn Photoshop. Take the time to learn, I don't care if it's your iPhone or a regular camera, but take the time to learn how to make good pictures. Because at the end of the day, you can make the best project in the world, but when it comes time to selling it, it's going to come down to how well that little thumbnail picture looks of the thing you made. So definitely learn, whether it's Photoshop, GIMP, whatever, learn a photo editing program, and those light boxes and those lights are probably less than $100 worth of stuff on Amazon, and you could probably find it cheaper if you searched a little more. But those are great investments, and so that'll also be another section of the that will include is even just learning how to take pictures of your stuff. Huge game changer. I had somebody tell me that a couple of years ago with embroidery. And just learning how to take pictures was night and day with the amount of sales you can make. So never overlook stuff like that. Super important. Another thing, as I'm sitting here, I'm saying another thing people ask is like, how much room do you need? How much room do you need with? So here is that's the amount of store. I do keep a lot of stuff on hand for embroidery, but in terms of the laser, I have my laser up here. Takes a 25-inch wide. This can is 25 inches wide. I have a few extra inches over there to put my fan. But this is the amount of supplies I keep on hand for my laser. I'm able to put them on 2 small little rolling carts that I could roll and get them out of the way at any time. And then also another thing, like to get back to the projects thing, I pre-cut all my wood, so when the time comes to make a project, I could just kind of like mass produce it. But that's it. You don't need a huge area for your Glowforge. You don't need a huge area to store materials. I have the wood that I use. I have the wood that I use for cutting boards, serving trays. I have a whole bunch of acrylic that I use for my acrylic work. And that's basically it. Other stuff I'll pick up as I need. But so at this point, if you guys are interested, like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a bunch of great videos on. We're going to have informative stuff. We're going to have projects. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to have maintenance stuff, all kinds of stuff. And hopefully it helps you guys out. It helps you get started. It was a little bit of a rocky start for me because I didn't have this when I was getting started. But hopefully it'll help you guys out. And most importantly, if you guys are looking to make a purchase, the referral code program is still available, and my code will be in the bottom. So if you guys want to make a purchase, definitely use the referral code. Okay, any questions, just shoot me a comment, and I'll answer them as quick as I can. Just be patient. It's a little bit of work involved with getting the channel up and running. But like and subscribe, and you won't miss anything. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good day.